Nice, Faz is going to propel Spirit forward with the speed boost here. A good response with that Winston bubble coming in, but Locke gets blown up. Too easy comes in towards Retzi here. And despite trying to take matters into their own hands, it hasn't quite worked out for Rise.
The theory was extremely sound, because when I saw that they were rotating their soldier up top, that was Casper up top, I realized the Rise had no one who was going to be able to go get them. And they realized that too, so they just pushed forward through the ground. By all rights, they should have taken that fight. It was really a 6v4 when they chose to engage.
It immediately here. There's not much protection, and it really needs to be an all-in dive from Tempo Storm or nothing. It can't just be Beast Tailor. It's not going to work.
That's nice for them to be able to take out Faz, because that's a big part of their healing.
Yeah, Graviton going to come in though as well. JKW and Kozi caught up in it, but it's going to be the Transcendence used. It was a late biotic grenade, so JKW is not going to be punished by that one there. Nice turnaround by Tig. He gets a swift strike through there, and Desro also going to fall. Again, the second Graviton consecutively that has no value because the follow-up is not present. This time, it was just a biotic grenade on top of it.
Yeah, it's just seconds off. You're absolutely right, because you think that's a perfect counter. Low economy as it's been, Rise will have nothing. This should be a fight. It's going to be the last one that Tempo Storm can win.
Dragonblade Fatigue though coming in. He doesn't have a nano boost this time, but it may not matter. He's on to Locke, but he slips straight away. Retzi then just gets the dirty work done and puts the Genji out of his misery. But in the meantime, Beast Tailor again seems to be almost a stronger Reinhardt now. After switching off that Winston, he's had great success, and that was a fire strike to catch out his opposite number. Now they're all over the point. Sleep on the Beast Tailor. Faz now is bio grenaded. There's no chance of surviving that one, and that's going to be it. In overtime, it is the completed push by Tempo Storm.
Well, I mean, you're just in Australia. And staying alive during all of it is great play from Too Easy.
That's so sick. He really kept Locke very busy, even just trying to keep Retzi alive, actually. So Retzi goes to the Tracer. He was like, nah, stuff this. I'm going to try and go head-to-head now in this battle. Midnight goes low. Casper picks him off, but most of the damage was done by Tig diving in. Spirit at least gets on towards Cozy. He's very deep in the backline, and this has caused Tig to have to come back and try and help. But it doesn't work out. Retzi's also there. He takes down the Genji. Desro leaps onto the point. That's where Too Easy falls down. Baz actually got the headshot in there, and this is much nicer here as well. This is turning out really, really well here for Rise. They actually managed to split up Tempo very heavily, push him very deep, and obviously Tig couldn't do much about that. He got jumped upon very quickly by Retzi.
So Rise has switched themselves into this kind of...
Yeah, okay, we'll see if this gets punished. There's no Roadhog on the side of Tempo here as well, and Tig's going to go in. Sound barrier immediately drawn out, and Kozi's going to come over the top and try and keep his Winston alive, mostly. Spirit gets 2 kills in the fight. He's just dashing through. He's finding so many low health targets here in the backside. Kozi and JKW arguably were a little bit out of position, to be fair, and he was able to leap upon them. There was no protection for them. And Midnight finds Dream Casper. So this dive-heavy composition's working out fairly nicely now, and yeah, Beast Tailor was caught well out of position.
He was back at first point for whatever reason, way back there. Retzi will get on the cleanup crew, but now it's going to be so difficult for them to engage in this, and they really just can't. They can't engage. It's going to be tough for them to even really get in the proper position. Desro might have to charge onto this card.
Payload. Yeah, he's got to go. He's got to Earth Shatter and it's blocked out. Beast Tailor just switched towards Reinhardt. It's worked perfectly. He counters out the ultimate that was in advantage for Rise Nation. Now on towards the point they go, though. Spirit at least actually had a whole hog, and this is turning around. Kozik falling. They're going to get towards that yellow square of victory. You can see a little bit of fancy footwork by JKW to try and get himself up and on this point. But Beast Tailor comes in too late. He was out of position. Tig's going to try and go with the Dragon Blade, but he's forced to reflect immediately.
Very late sound barrier as Desro just sweeps the street with that hammer. Everyone's out of position, and both teams finish out King's Row here and him once he takes this window. He's up there with Tracer already. Dodges the hook. Now he's in a great spot. He can just pepper them down from the high ground.
And you get the Rise, they've done a do-si-do. They've just done a bit of a bait and switch now. They're the ones that have to come and try and defend this point. And I think they got outmaneuvered big time, especially with the pressure of Too Easy behind them. They move forward to the statue, and that really may well prove to be their undoing. Too Easy did so much purely by being there, and Rise wanted to go for another aggressive defensive engage, which they also tried last time, Hex, and it also proved to be their undoing.
Well, we do have a pause here as Spirit did DC. Maybe that is part of it. However, I just think that they're not positioned correctly, because Tempo Storm has shown time and time again that they want to rotate around. They want to rotate around to the top and get Casper in that top position. And they don't have anyone to get up there. They don't have any vertical mobility to be able to deal with him up there. They're not running a Winston, Diva, absolutely nothing. So you have to put Retzi up there and a tank up there beforehand and just deny him from getting the position he wants. They didn't do it, so they didn't change their plan from the first stage to this stage. So yeah, that's exactly what they should have expected, and that's what was the death of them.
Yeah, don't know why they even went for that aggressive positioning towards a statue, but they did it and it ended up being their undoing. Now we're in overtime though here, and it's going to be ultimates up first for Tempo. They did all the damage in that last fight, so they can actually make a decent amount of progress if they don't mess up. Beast Halo's trying to hold in the corner, and Tig's being heavily aggressed on here by Midnight, who's managed to stay healthy this whole time. Pulse Bomb comes in, finds nothing. Ritzy though the first, he's got great positioning, and so does Casper though, even better. He's up on high, and he still gets cut down. Ritzy stamps his approval and his authority over on that payload with 4, I think.
Team up.
Well, that's the big question. I don't know. To be fair, he's struggled a little bit in this match so far, but now we have players up on the point. They're going to allow Desro just to dip his feet in, but look at that. Too easy, finds Midnight straight away. This guy's a beast. He's doing so well. He just turned this one on its head. Both rounds, he's been the instigator in situations that Tempo have been able to make their own. They win the first fight. That's disgusting. Nice way to dive, and I agree with you, Hex. They really seem to have the idea of playing aggressive on both sides of the map down pat.
Yeah, they look very much more practiced in the dive. The good thing for Rise Nation is that they got killed very quickly, so they still have a chance. I mean, that's the silver lining here.
Yeah, rough stuff. 13 seconds left, 12 now. Too Easy's going to have a pulse bomb. This could just win the game right here, or at least the map, should I say. Oh, he just drops it on the ground. Okay, Too Easy, let's be down. Just when I need him to succeed, but now it's going to be 2 for 1. So, yeah, look at this. It is pretty comfortable. A 5 versus 3 fight right now here for Tempo Storm, and Desro, Spirit, Retzi already going down. How convincing could you possibly be? Perfectly executed aggression coming out from Tempo Storm, and a well-deserved first map.
You know...
Right. Well, Casper going very low early on this fight. This wouldn't be a good start if that happened yet again. But Too Easy finds Retzi. That shuts down the Soldier 76 presence on the side of Rise Nation here. And Teak finds Lock. Oh, it's nice. It's really nice. Retzi and Lock to be the first 2 to go down. And then Faz very close by. Clinical. Absolute deconstruction. Lose that one player.
When dive works, it's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful to watch just how well it can work. Of course, they did throw some ult into that, which is fine, but
Actually, at least with that Helix rocket, but don't want to stop this payload. Midnight has to go now. Must go now. Faz getting taken very low. It's going to be a Soundberry here on the side of Tempo Storm to keep them alive, and maybe not even necessary at this point. The Beast Halo got Bardic Grenaded. Spirit now jumps in, and we all know what this dance is. Death Loss is not going to actually get any kills, but does a lot of damage over that fight. This is going to force Too Easy and Kozzy especially to put himself in a very risky, dangerous position, and he goes down to Ritzy as a result.
Well, see, now the spawns have changed position here, that it's going to be Rise Nation with the spawn advantage, so these trade-out fights will favor them. However, this Tempo team is so scrappy. JKW's been alive far longer than he deserved to be, and it buys enough time for Beast Halo to come back in, and this grab's going to come out. They need to clean it up, but still, they pop Primal Rage through it. Casper gets Visor. This is a scrappy Tempo team, and they're going to get second point.
Yeah, but I tell you what happened
through that Graviton is because he had to drop the shield. There was no health left on it. He had to charge out, left them all extremely exposed. Desperation time, but most of Rise Nation now back alive on this point, 1.5 meters away.
Oh, the Reinhardt game, mind games are going thick and fast right now. Beast Halo and Desro just waiting for each other to drop their shields. Casper's up on the high ground and got himself the Mana Fist here. Not attack visor, and there go the Earth Shatters. Interesting interaction there. I'll leave it at that. Beast Halo has to charge out of the fight because Faz is keeping his team healed up here. The Zenyatta's working out for Faz. Clearly, he can play more than one hero. Good to know. And that's going to be the cleanup. Spirit got himself a Dragon Blade. There's a Graviton for good measure. Too Easy just has to sit and watch as the payload falls just short of the end of the map.
Ultimates of their own, so perhaps this should be the one window for him. Only a little over a minute left.
Yeah, Too Easy missed his pulse bomb at the start of that fight, and Beast Halo almost got way too caught out. This Transcendence is well timed, but it may not be enough. It's a 5v5 right now with the fight, but Spirit here is going to dash through. Oh, he catches Tick. He wasn't even trying to dash through, but I think he was going for Kozzy, and he got them both. Okay. Nicely done. The ultimates were there for Rise Nation, to be fair, in that fight. Too Easy didn't have the same performance he'd had in previous fights. He didn't get any picks. He actually had to retreat pretty quickly. And Beast Halo...
does come in, they get it around. This choke don't necessarily have to fight for high ground anymore, which isn't Rise's biggest strength anyway. Winston's counter dive lock able to take down Too Easy, who's been an enormous threat. This fight starts off great for Rise.
Yeah, he's getting nullified pretty hard the last couple of fights. The Transcendence is pretty good there, and Desro gets Kozzy off the edge. That's nice. That's worthwhile. He tried to get him off in the first place, but the Graviton actually held him in place. It kind of worked against him, but still, this is working out now. Too Easy on the payload, on his own. Not an ideal combination, really. Definitely not things you want in the same phrase. And it's going to be the payload getting across the line unless Big Taylor gets there. No. A back away. And now Rise building up ahead of steam.
My ultimate is charging.
Rise looking good. So
pretty tough actually to try and find decent flanking routes as Tracer sometimes on this last point. You've only really got the one. And the Transcendence from Locke again. Good timing on that one. The last time he had it, they won the fight. Looks like it's going to be true to form yet again. Spirit with the Dragon Blade, Retzi with the Attack Visor. A lot of ultimates being used there, but still, it was quite a clean fight. Everyone's still alive, and now it's going to be almost immediately into stall for Tempo Storm.
It's a tale of two halves. This has looked like a completely different team. Remember, they only have to finish out the map. Yet again, what is Cozy doing? I didn't see exactly where he was, but I have to imagine he was peeking and just got shuriken down, and that's going to be rough. They have to fight this 4v6 now.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. Losing Casper, now JKW, and it should be the snowball, right? Even a team like Rise Nation, who's maybe not crazy about dive trump, should be able to make this one happen. That was really convincing finish, but I really think that
offense to come in when they lose their main tank like that.
Oh, look, sound barrier coming out, and there's actually a big fight happening in the server room at the moment. Tig and Too Easy were trying to get rid of the supports and Retzi, but it doesn't quite work out. Retzi fights Too Easy, Casper elsewhere in the fight finds Faz, and now that's the whole hog going to come out from him. So this is going to be really nice for Tempo to get a bit of breathing room, especially combined with that Primal Rage. That's a lot of displacement, and that allows those two tanks to have some free time on the payload themselves. Beast Halo tries to cut Desro off at the quick by just jumping up and catching him, and Tig's going to be there. So nice turnaround. Those tank ults were really critical in that last stage of the fight.
Scrappy right now, but I think Rise has the tools to be able to bring this back if they can just execute.
Yeah, losing Locke though, I mean, that's kind of one of the more important parts of that particular conundrum. Self-destruct going to come out over the top, and that's perfect. Tig had no way to escape that. He didn't have a dash away, no chance. But Retzi falls to Casper, who gets hooked into the fight now. Halo's on the payload, he's dealing with Midnight, but Midnight had a Discord orb on him, so even, someone like Beast Halo, his damage output can get it done. Too Easy was also there, he quickly gets Bionic Grenade and is forced to back away, and Spirit has to filter himself into this fight with the Dragon Blade and the Nano Boost, but the whole hog shuts him down completely.
Yeah, Casper's hog has been great, and his whole hogs especially, you see right there, it was actually probably what won them the first point, now going to get them second pretty easily. I thought that was ill-advised to even try to come back in on that. They were in bad position. Rise Nation was to try to get back here. Now they find themselves all at last on the...
Dragon Blade got to be coming up in the near future here for Tempo, and they don't have that much time.
Yeah, they're very spread out right now, too, the offense is. It's only Beast Halo up front, and it's happened way too often that you see him all alone out there. However, Retzi goes down early to this fight to a headshot from JKW. The grab comes in post sound barrier, but so many support ults, they're not going to get anything through this.
Yeah, sick Transcendence by Costa. He's been very on point with those, I have to admit. He's also managed to stay alive. Locke now has to use his, but it's for a 5-man squad, and actually Spirit can't even benefit from that. He was too far away. Too Easy goes in, and guess what? Pulse bombs don't give a crap about Transcendence. Too Easy knew that as well. He knew he could pick Faz out from the mix. 4 kills in that fight with Too Easy. He's had his ups and he's had his downs, but I tell you what, when Tempo needed it, Too Easy was there and he was firing.
So even though he doesn't run as much Widow as some other players, he has the ability to do so.
This is a really sick first fight here now as well. I mean, Retzi on that Widowmaker. I want to see how it works out now on this point as we start to hit that L-bend. But Midnight falls down to Kozi. He did a very good job of defending himself and his own backline. And then Kozi finds Spirit. Yeah, he's pretty sick. Casper on towards Faz, and you can see that Retzi was just caught up in the mix there. That dive, that defensive play coming out from Tempo.
Yeah, they're going to leave it all on the table here.
Yeah, the only bonus is that you can see that it's going to be hard to get a Transcendence on the entirety of Tempo Storm because of their position right now. See, it wasn't there quick enough, and Spirit actually wasn't able to hang. Well, he was able to get Tig. He wasn't able to get healed up. Is what I'm trying to say. Now over on the payload though, it's a quick response. Too Easy found Spirit after the Dragon Blade expired. Midnight's caught out in position, just trying to work around the fringes, but he found Kozi with a pulse bomb. Casper was just a second too slow to suck that one up there with the defense matrix. But Faz now on overtime on that payload here, he'll eventually get pushed off by Too Easy, getting aggressive in his face. And who's going to be there to step up? I think Retzi has to jump off the high ground onto the payload. He's mid-air. Makes a crash landing on the payload and was a second too late.
What knocked him 10 feet into the air? I don't know if that was just my side, but he was jumping down and something launched him into the ceiling.
It's the reworked Lucio, man. The boop is now the jump pad. I don't think he was capping that anyway.
No.